As we've been reporting, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will bar Muslim Congresswomen Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar from entering the country. Vermont Independent Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders slammed the move on Twitter, calling the decision, quote, a sign of enormous disrespect to these elected leaders, to the United States Congress, and to the principles of democracy. Sanders also called on the Israeli government to reverse its decision. Briahna Gray is National Press Secretary for the Bernie Sanders campaign. She joins me now from Washington. Welcome, Briahna. Thanks for being with us. So,
thank you.
Why is it so important for the senator to call out Israel on this?
Well, look, Bernie Sanders is in the unique position of being Jewish himself. He's someone whose father's family was largely wiped out in the Holocaust. And so to the extent that he has authority personally to weigh in on this very contentious area where there are a lot of people who are accusing these congresswomen of anti-Semitism, I think that it's really important for him and courageous of him to use his own authority in this matter, his moral authority and his authority as someone who is Jewish himself, to be clear that these are American congresswomen who have not done any or said any of the things that they're being accused of, and who absolutely should have the right to travel freely.
So do you know if Sanders has been in touch with the congresswomen?
You know, I'm not sure. I know that they certainly have been in regular contact in the past, and Senator Sanders was with Congresswoman Omar during the last round of remarks from President Trump. But I do know that he has been consistent, very consistent in his support of the both of them.
Right. And Briahna, I want to turn now to the Sanders campaign recent released video of the senator and rapper Cardi B. Their interview, here's some of what they talked about.
Like, what are we going to do about wages in America? Good. Like, for example, like me as a New Yorker, not now, but, you know, when I was not famous, I just felt like no matter how many jobs I get, I wasn't able to make ends meet. Like, I wasn't able to pay my rent, get transportation, and eat.
That is an excellent and important question, because right now we have tens of millions of people who are earning what I consider to be starvation wages. Can you imagine somebody today earning $9 an hour?
It don't make no sense.
No, it doesn't.
So tell us how this interview came about, and why did the campaign decide to sit down with Cardi B?
So Cardi B has been a fan of Senator Sanders since 2016. Some of us who supported him back then remember a tweet where an Instagram post where she famously said people should vote for Daddy Bernie, and then use an expletive that I won't use here. But look, what's so amazing about Cardi B, I think, is that unlike a lot of celebrities, she's someone who can like walk the walk and talk the talk. She's someone who lived a working class, regular life until recently, and she comes to politics with that perspective. When you watch this interview, what's so notable is that they spend the time talking about everyday kitchen table working class issues in a way that you don't get with kind of your prototypical celebrity endorsement, where it's about kind of interpersonal relationships and just kind of the proximity of a star that you like being close to the guy. No, and Cardi B in particular is someone who has not just been a fan of Bernie Sanders, but also of FDR. She's someone who's politically engaged. And so that's why I personally find her support incredibly valuable. And I'm honored that so many working class celebrities or people with working class backgrounds who know what they're talking about, people like Cardi B, people like Killer Mike, have chosen to throw their lot in with this campaign.
So will we be seeing more of Cardi B on the campaign trail, or is this a one-off?
I'm not sure. I certainly hope so. You know, if Bernie Sanders were to walk out on a stage to Cardi B, I certainly wouldn't be complaining.
It's certainly, you know, seeing him in a different light. Is this part of some attempt to sort of maybe retool his image or bring him into focus with a different demographic?
Look, the demographic that Cardi B represents is actually one of the demographics with which the campaign has been doing most strongly. Working class black and brown voters is really who comprises the plurality of people who have been giving to this campaign and who support this campaign. So what, if anything, we're trying to do is get that message across to more Americans who tend to pigeonhole the campaign and not necessarily see it for its full scope and value. I mean, recently, Senator Sanders sat down with Joe Joe Rogan for a long-form, hour-long interview. And what you see when you read the YouTube comments, YouTube not being a historically friendly environment for comments, is person after person saying, gosh, I've never heard Senator Sanders be able to speak uninterrupted for an hour like this. I've never seen this side of him. And now that I actually heard what he said, oh, it's not that radical. This is common sense. And I hope that when people watch the Cardi B interview, they feel the same way.
All right. So the senator will be in South Carolina this weekend, and a recent poll by the Post and Courier showed him jumping to third place, with 16% of those polled choosing him as their Democratic nominee. Does this speak to him gaining momentum in the state, or is it still too far out to be paying attention to the horse race?
I think it absolutely shows that he's gaining momentum and that this is a very different race than we had in 2016. There is ground infrastructure in place that we're really proud of. He's doing a number of events with local politicians. He's going to be speaking with local church groups. He's going to be walking through a neighborhood. Last time he was in South Carolina, he spoke to a voter there who said, you know, you can't possibly understand what's going on in my community unless you see it firsthand. So he'll be doing that walkthrough, and we're really excited for him to be spending more time there and getting to know more about what the needs of that community is and articulating how he is going to address them in better and better ways.
All right. Briahna Gray, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.